I'm going to talk today about my newest book called The Fight for Privacy, Protecting Identity, Dignity, and Love in the Digital Age. And the theory of intimate privacy that's at the heart of the book. And I'm going to focus, I think, on some attacks on individuals, that is, individual privacy violators and invaders, rather than the sort of corporate story and government surveillance story, and talk a bit about the challenges that we face when individuals violate others' intimate privacy. So intimate privacy, first, let me describe the way in which it impacts our self-determination, our ability to develop our identities, right? It gives us, intimate privacy gives us the invisible space that we need with our bodies. We sort of first come to know ourselves through our bodies. So, so what do I mean by the concept of intimate privacy? It's all the ways that we manage the boundaries around our intimate lives. So it concerns the privacy around that are afforded our bodies, our health, our minds. So that includes our searches and our communications, our gender, our sex and sexual orientation, and our closest relationships. The majority of victims of intimate privacy invasions are women and minorities or marginalized individuals, and it's most costly to them, right? Because of destructive stereotypes about the bodies, the naked bodies of women, gender and sexual minorities, Black individuals, and often, people that have intersecting vulnerable identities. In South Korea, going to the bathroom for a woman in a public bathroom is fraught with fear because the assumption is there will be hidden cameras in the public bathroom. So video voyeurism is the secret videotaping, digitally taping and streaming people going to the restroom. So the Censity did a study that last year there were more than, and Elle is right that it doubles every 6 months, there were more than 50,000 deepfake videos that Censity found online. 96% of them were pornographic, and nearly 100% of them were women's faces being inserted into porn. Turning individuals into porn stars without their permission. Someone who had just graduated from law school, she was in her first job, and she went on a trip, and she stayed in a hotel room. And when she left, when she got home, she got an email in her inbox that said, "From Not a Bad Guy too." And it provided links to videos, right? Those videos were posted on Pornhub and other adult sites. She had a sense that her world was not within her control. She was so deeply embarrassed that her law school classmates and her colleagues at work had a video of her showering and going to the bathroom. And she said to me, like, "I'll only be seen as someone urinating on the toilet." So I also talk about in my book what I call spying ink, that is the endless collection of our intimate information. It's also true of dating apps. It shocked Grindr users to know that all of the information that they were sharing on Grindr, including the sort of like gay subgroup that they affiliate with, and their HIV status, was being shared with marketers and analytics firms. But nonetheless, we have seen legal change on the ground. We've also helped work on and devise a federal non-consensual intimate imagery law that has bipartisan support, but Congress isn't doing much of anything these days. So we have been, law requires us to have a good reason if we're going to violate someone's a civil right, an entitlement that we think is essential to human flourishing and development. And it changes how we view intimate privacy and the extent to which we can invade it. But of course, law can do only so much. And I think partnerships with market actors are an indispensable part. We know that, some of the problem with Silicon Valley is this sort of hacker ethos, which is like you release products and services and then you deal with the harm later on, right? And when most of the folks working at these companies are male or Asian men, the majority of those engineers, they're not going to be picking up on problems that are suffered mainly by women and marginalized people from marginalized communities. And so the hacker ethic and ethos has led to a lot of harm. But some of the market solutions and the kind of work that your lab is doing that your director is doing on the authentication side and detection side to think about how we might combat deepfakes X videos is part of the broader crucial battle against misinformation that we all can have a role in.